What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 727 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo. After all the madness, it's been a wild weekend since we've last spoken to you. We're going to catch you up on everything that's gone down in the world of March Madness. And we're going to talk a little bit of Philadelphia Phillies as well. Nice, simple episode. Easy things to get your week started right. Coming off the high that is the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament. But we're going to have some fun and chop it up with you guys as we got some fun announcements as well along the way. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. Follow us. You can follow me on Twitter if you feel like it at KBIZZL311 and on Instagram and Threads at KBIZZLE11. Subscribe to the pod. I'm going to say it again. Subscribe to the pod. I'm going to say it one more time. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? It's free to subscribe. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form, leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping not only this show continue to grow, but every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams. They all happen on our YouTube channel as well. But when you subscribe to the audio version of the podcast, it genuinely helps us continue to grow. So keep on doing it. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. We had 2 live streams this past weekend, which was a ton of fun. One was solo by your boy's own self. Had myself a time. Where were you for the Zakai Ziegler game? And we kicked things off on Thursday with a bang, which was a ton of fun. So keep subscribing because we got a whole lot more March Madness streams. I believe Steve and I will also be live on Tuesday night for the TGL Finals, which is going to be a doozy of a time, so you won't want to miss that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're at 1,047 subscribers. Can we get to 1,050 by the end of Monday? Can we get to 1,050 subscribers before the day of Monday, March 24th comes to a close? Just 3 more to get to 1,050, which means then 50 more and we're at 1,100 and we're well on our way to cooking this YouTube channel to the moon. Let's keep things rolling. youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. And FYI, everyone, if you didn't know, if you're brand new, this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland, and that's my hometown, getting behind the pod. And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the madness, or should I say the lack of madness has come and gone. It was quite an opening weekend for the NCAA tournament with March Madness. We're going to recap all of it and our Underground Madness. This entire season of Underground Madness is brought to you by our awesome friends over at FOCO. We love FOCO here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. They've been rocking with me personally for a couple years now. I can't wait. I was just getting changed for the pod because I was lounging around and wanted to put something nice on. And I said, hey, them short talls, them overalls, they're calling my name because your boy's going to be at opening day on the 31st. Your boy's going to be at opening night on April 2nd. So if you're going to be at CBP, come say what's up to your boy. I'll be rocking overalls potentially or short talls depending on the weather. But we love FOCO, and they are powering Underground Madness 2025. Their college selection of merchandise and apparel and collectibles is second to none. I can't wait to get my own basketball merchandise from some of these teams that have helped your boy cash some bets because I want to rep them for helping support the boy's wallet. You guys can shop with FOCO whenever you want by using our link in the description. And from now through the end of the tournament on April 8th, use code Underground10 at checkout and you'll get 10% off your next purchase at checkout from our friends at FOCO. Again, use our link in the description. When you use the link, that's how FOCO knows you're coming from us. And then when you go to checkout, use code Underground10 and you'll get 10% off at checkout on your next purchase from our friends at FOCO. And Underground Madness is proudly presented by FOCO. So the madness was quite crazy, quite turbulent in terms of no real upsets. This is the first time since I can remember. I think there was a tweet about it actually, that the lack of double-digit seeds. I want to pull it up if I can find it. Yeah, so for the first time since 2007, no 11 seeds or lower will play in the Sweet 16. That's crazy. We were very close to having Colorado State go through today. Lost on an insane buzzer beater. That's the first buzzer beater we've had of the madness. But some notable teams that go down in the early go. McNeese State gets that win against Clemson to advance. BYU pulls the quote-unquote upset because VCU was the trendy pick there. BYU's moving on. They're going to the Sweet 16 because they upset Wisconsin. Drake upsets Missouri in that first round as well. St. John's, the first 2 seed going home as they were upset by Coach Calipari and Arkansas in the round of 32. Baylor survived Mississippi State on Friday. Colorado State with a great win against Memphis. They take down a 5 seed. That was like one of the big upsets, was the 12-5 with McNeese winning and then Colorado State winning. You also had New Mexico take down Marquette. You had, in the round of 16, like I mentioned, Arkansas advancing over St. John's to take down a 2 seed. Purdue ends McNeese State's nice little run. Michigan, who was a trendy upset, they're advancing to the Sweet 16. Great wins for Michigan against Texas A&M and UC San Diego. Texas Tech ends Drake's bid. BYU took down Wisconsin. Tennessee survived UCLA. UConn almost pulled the upset. The defending champs, the 2-time defending champions, no more, as we will have a brand new national champion for the first time in 3 years. Florida takes them down 77-75. Kentucky outlasts Illinois. Maryland with that buzzer beater. Amazing. Colorado State, unfortunately, their bid ends. New Mexico looked like they had an early go on Michigan State, but Michigan State pulls through to win. Oregon sent home in the final game of the evening. and Ole Miss took it to Iowa State, 91-78. Another 6 seed sending a 3 seed home. So the Sweet 16 has taken shape, and it'll be on Thursday. We will have, let's see here. Let's get all of them in a row. Actually, let's see if we can find tip times. Here we go. So here are your tip times on Thursday. We will have from Newark, New Jersey, Alabama and BYU at 7:09 Eastern. And then at 7:39 in San Francisco, it'll be Florida and Maryland. And then at 9:39 Eastern, it'll be Duke versus Arizona in Newark. And then in San Francisco at 10:09 Eastern, it'll be Texas Tech and Arkansas. And then on Friday, it will be from Atlanta, Michigan State and Ole Miss. And then at 7:39 from Indianapolis, it'll be Tennessee against Kentucky. And then in Atlanta at 9:39 p.m., it'll be Auburn versus Michigan. And then on Friday as well from Indianapolis at 10:09 Eastern, it will be Houston versus Purdue. Crazy that we're already at the Sweet 16. I got to say that much. The way that this weekend was so long yet so short all at the same time made no sense to me whatsoever. I couldn't believe the lack of upsets that, a lot of people going into this tournament were saying it was going to be very chalk. And for the most part, I agreed with that. But I didn't realize we were only going to have one singular double-digit seed advance to the Sweet 16, and that is number 10 Arkansas and Coach Calipari moving on to take on Texas Tech. That's the only double-digit seed remaining. Everyone else is single digits. We have Alabama as a 2 seed, Michigan State and Tennessee as 2 seeds, so there's 3 2 seeds remaining. All 4 1 seeds advance. BYU is in as a 6 seed. Ole Miss is in as a 6 seed. We have Maryland and Purdue moving on as 4 seeds. Arizona moving on as a 4 seed. Texas Tech and Kentucky, the lone 3 seeds to advance. And I believe Michigan is the only 5 seed. And then Ole Miss and BYU, like I said, the 6 seeds, but Arkansas, the only double-digit seed to advance past the first weekend, is crazy. Like, I don't remember cognizantly a time where that's been the case. 2007 was when I first, got into college basketball. If you guys know me, I fell in love with Villanova in 2007. That's been my team ever since. But it's crazy that it's been that long. It's been almost 2 decades since we've had a March Madness go this chalk. The Maryland game today was unbelievable. Multiple, very fun and, competitive games today. And it has been quite a ride for us here. We had amazing streams. You had the emotions of DJ in round 1 against UC San Diego with his Michigan Wolverines. I had a player prop going on Saturday with Tennessee. It was crazy. And I've been finding my way a little bit with the gambling board, which has been a lot of fun. Been finding our way quite a bit with the gambling picks. I was texting with Stephen McAvoy today, and he said that he was like, "How do you keep doing this?" And I was like, "I genuinely don't know." It's been fun, though. I've had a lot of fun. March Madness is one of my favorite times of the year. I brought this up on Thursday's episode. I genuinely love this time of year so much. Being able to veg out the past couple days has been amazing, to just sit and watch countless hours of college basketball while the internet has collectively come together and dunked on and laughed at this influencer that is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. To see that go viral during March Madness when everyone's online has been hysterical. And, tomorrow when I wake up, I'll just be dunking my face in a bowl of ice water to get my day started and feel refreshed and wake myself up and see how, I can go and change my life. But yeah, March Madness has been electric. Even in a tournament where the upsets aren't there, the overall storylines haven't really been there per se. It's been a lot of fun. Like, I just love the tournament, and it's sad to see that we're down to the final 16 already. But man, like, Thursday is going to be an awesome day. Just thinking about, because Thursday, very fun stuff. Stevie Mack and I will be in person together. He's coming down. We have a very fun day planned on Thursdays. We will be at Media Day for the Truist Championship for the PGA Tour, which I'm very excited about. And we'll be kicking it all day Thursday. And that's going to be awesome for March Madness. I can't wait to text him tomorrow and be like, yo, we're going to be together for March Madness. Let's see if we can catch some of these games at night. But yeah, I mean, the tournament, like, even when it isn't full of upsets and craziness, it's still enjoyable because we've had some really good games, I think. And it's always just a fun time. And we've had so much fun. Shout out to everyone that's joined our bracket challenge. Oddly enough, we have 68 people in. So we have the field of 68. But like just seeing that Maryland game, I keep bringing it up because it was truly a buzzer beater highlight. Casey in our bracket challenge, co-host of Underground Circuit, has Maryland winning it all. That saved her bracket. It was such a fun weekend. Just like live streaming with the boys, kicking it, watching hoops with my parents. Them paying attention to their brackets because they're in the bracket challenge too. You're competing against CFO Margie. You're competing against the OG. It's just been so much fun. I love March Madness so much. And it's truly the time when everyone collectively locks in on college basketball. And when we have the opportunity to do that, like, moments get made and you see just incredible stuff. Like tonight, like Caleb Love was battling so that he got a chance to face off against Duke again. We have a side of the bracket where Michigan State and Michigan are potentially on a collision course for destiny against each other. Florida survived the defending champs. Tennessee and Kentucky, two perennial underachievers in the tournament of recent memory, are now facing off against each other for a chance to go to the Elite Eight. Coach Calipari takes down Rick Pitino and is now going up against Texas Tech as the lone double-digit seed left in the tournament. Purdue and Houston, two perennial underachievers in the tournament of recent years, are facing off against each other. Ole Miss shot the lights out of the building in the round of 32. Can they keep that going against Michigan State, who's played a very slow pace of basketball so far to start this tournament? Will Maryland carry over the vibes against Florida? There's a lot of storylines that are unfolding in this, and then you have BYU and Alabama, which will be fascinating to watch in Newark, New Jersey. So I'm stoked for what's to come from the tournament, and we have so much still on the horizon. Obviously, if you haven't joined our bracket challenge, get in there. Get in the bracket challenge. You can still join. It's linked in the description. This weekend I was also looking at my women's bracket because I, for the first time, filled out a women's bracket because I said, hey, women's hoops rock. I'm very in on women's basketball. It's very fun to follow along with in the tournament. I got to follow along with the one and only Miss Dawn Staley, certified hooper. And, I'm rocking with South Carolina as my winner. And for a very long time in my bracket, as I was following along, I almost went live because I thought I was going to have a perfect bracket on my hands. I ended up losing a couple games in the first round. I lost the one that I thought I was going to win, Florida State and George Mason. I picked as an upset. George Mason ended up losing there, but I also lost Cal and Mississippi State, and I also lost Oklahoma State and South Dakota State. But looking at my bracket now and seeing where I'm lined up in the Sweet 16, I had UCLA advancing. I did not have Ole Miss moving on, but congrats to them. They're moving on to take on UCLA. South Carolina was on the brink a little bit today, but they advanced past Indiana. Duke, I had advancing past Oregon. They are moving on. I did not have... Oh, no, I did. That's pretty cool. I had Ohio State and Tennessee playing each other. I had Tennessee taking down Ohio State, and that's exactly what happened. That's very cool. I also had Notre Dame taking down Michigan. That happened. I had TCU taking down Louisville. That happened. And then I had Kentucky taking down Kansas State. Kansas State beat Kentucky by 1, unfortunately. So I have two incorrect picks in my Sweet 16 because I didn't have Ole Miss moving on either. But my women's bracket's looking pretty nice. Not going to lie. I have 400 points. I'm ranked 577,161 on the ESPN Bracket Challenge. 84% for my women's bracket, which is pretty dope. This is the first time I've ever filled out a women's bracket as well. And I just hope it keeps continuing, and I hope South Carolina win because I love Dawn Staley, and she is genuinely a white whale guest for me on this show. Any chance I would have to sit down with Dawn Staley and just talk Philly, talk basketball, talk sports fandom with her would be a true, genuine, pinch me moment. So, Coach Dawn Staley, if you are ever available, we would love to have you on the show and just talk Philly sports because she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to sports fandom in Philadelphia. And I love Dawn Staley. She's so fun to root for, and she's genuinely the best. And I wanted her to be the Sixers coach at one point before they hired Nick Nurse, and then realized, why would she ever leave South Carolina? She's literally royalty down there. But yeah, the madness has been crazy, and my men's bracket, I lost one team in St. John's who I had going to the championship, but my bracket's still in 89.3%, got 490 points through the weekend, which was pretty good. But I'm going to update everybody on our bracket challenge, and that is brought to you by our friends at Paramount Plus. Guys, do I have the deal of the century for you? If you're a student and you're listening to this, listen up, because when you sign up for Paramount Plus using our link in the description and you're a student, you're going to get 50% off any Paramount Plus plan when you sign up using our link in the description now through the end of the tournament. If you're a student, sign up for Paramount Plus using our link in the description and get 50% off using our link in the description of any Paramount Plus plan. Don't miss out on a single second of the rest of the tournament and everything else Paramount Plus has to offer. Stream March Madness on CBS, Paramount Plus, and more. Get started today. Sign up with our link and get 50% off any Paramount Plus plan. Shout out to Paramount Plus, making things happen for the students out there. Our first update through the first weekend of the tournament. Leading the bracket challenge with a 530-point total, the one and only, my co-host of the Outside the Box podcast. Some say he does no ball, DJ Hughes. He does only have 1,650 max points remaining, which is not the most remaining of anybody in the bracket challenge, but Deej has a 10-point lead over Hootalica, which I believe is one of Hoots' family members, but their champion is out. They picked Iowa State to win it all. Iowa State was eliminated today, so their champion is gone. So some easy climbing up the ranks here for the likes of Tater Renzenbrink, who has 500 points. Their national champion is Florida, and they still have 1,740 points remaining. Followed by, in a three-way tie for third, Tater Renzenbrink, the boy Mikey Ostrowski, who has Kentucky winning it all, but only has 1,620 remaining points. So a little further behind Tater Renzenbrink. And then Casey. We've got two people from the company in the top 5 right now, holding it down in our bracket challenge. And then we have a two-way tie for 6th with Mickey's Madness 2025, who has Auburn winning it all, 1,730 remaining points available. Myself in a tie there, a two-way tie, with 490 points, but I only have 1,490 remaining, which sucks. And then followed by a nice little four-way tie for 8th with Mr. Purple's SB's picks, who's at 480. Blazers picks, or Blazers bracket, I should say, which I have reason to believe that's Blaze Reardon of the Philadelphia Wings and Carolina Chaos, who has 480 points. Yonatan's picks and T-Crow's picks in 8th place ties, followed by an ESPN fan who we don't have your name, so we need you to change that. ESPN fan 88665423. Need you to change that to your name or your social handle. Fisher Drew 104, another ESPN fan that we need you to change your name. Alyssa's picks, I Can Play Basketball. Hoots, the man Hoots, in that tie for 12th, followed by our 18th place tie between Clueless in Seattle, the boy Mark Kremer, Nick Brandt, Shack Attack, H Grove 25, Dylan McAvoy, Andy F kicks off the 24th place tie, Duval Lions, Sure Thing, Cute Outfits 2025, Worley 360, and then the boy Christian kicks off the 29th place tie, along with who I believe is Chris, Bandits 3-peat, our guy from OTB, Walking Red Flag, and then a 32nd place tie is Draft WCJ and Perez's Preference. And then in 34th place, Zach Leiter, Pop, Grand EFSJ Slams picks, another ESPN fan, the boy Trek Manifest in this thing, Miracle Mets, King Ra, and CFO Margie. And then in 42nd place, K with a K, Chad Jackson at 85, who is unfortunately pretty close to eliminated unless some crazy shenanigans happen, as St. John's was eliminated. S. Barclay 02, UConn's 6th borough eliminated with their winner because UConn is out. And Wyatt Ball Knower Miller, the boy Wyatt, also in 42nd place tie. And then kicking off the 47th place tie is the OG, Jay Manzo, Lunzo Gunzo, and then Shane Palma, winner 23, Chris Barnes, Zach Roman, the boy Matt Castorina, former co-host of this show. The answer key, I don't think that was the answer key, Sawyer Bowen, New York's team, who lost their winner, Stephen McAvoy, EMHF, who lost their winner in Texas A&M, Matty Ice Maz picks, who lost St. John's, and then Hoosier Daddy in 59th as well, followed by Money Mayshak, Chloe Johnston, Lars Bars, Patty Pitts, who has Michigan winning it all, an ESPN user number that lost their champion, Yo Bracket Buster. I don't think you're busting any brackets here, brother. And then Kelsline's picks, and then A Hooten 17 did not fill out a bracket So that was an easy win for a lot of people there. But that's the first update. We'll have a graphic of our top 5 and overall, and then company-wise, how everyone's doing. But been a lot of fun to kick off the tournament. Been having so much fun watching basketball. I can't wait. Can't wait for more. It's going to be a long 3 days with no college basketball. I know we have the NIT, but it's going to be a long 3 days before we get back to the true madness. And it sucks that, it's underway and we have to wait a whole nother year for that feeling again of what Thursday really is and how much fun it is. But here it is. Here it is. I'm going to say it now, and I'm truly going to clip it this time. Come back to this clip when it's time. You now have 50 weeks, 49, 50 weeks. You all now have 49 to 50 weeks, depending on your place of employment, to get in your PTO for March Madness 2026. Okay? I'm going to say that loud and clear. Depending on your place of employment, what you do for a living, you now have 49 to 50 weeks to get in your PTO to be off for Thursday and Friday of March Madness 2026. You don't want to miss the madness. Don't miss it. Don't be stuck at work on the first couple days of March Madness. 49 to 50 weeks from now, you'll have your PTO in, and you'll thank us here at Underground Sports Philadelphia for it. So get that PTO in now. 49 to 50 weeks in advance. They can't tell you no. They ain't even going to know that it's for March Madness at this point. Go put that PTO in today. Go put it in today. 49 to 50 weeks in advance. Let them know you ain't going to be in the office. You're not going to be around on the Thursday and Friday of March Madness, okay? That's just how things go down. That's just how things get down. You can't be stuck at work during March Madness. It's crazy town if you are. Crazy town. Before I keep it pushing here, I want to talk to you guys about our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. No better way to kick back and watch March Madness than with an ice cold Kenny in hand. Go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, go to kenwoodbeer.com and use that Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in your areas. Must be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. Also want to talk to you guys about our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, there's no better way to stand out in the crowd than with our friends at PHI Apparel Company with their unique designs for all. You are going to stand out at the tailgate, at the bar, hanging with your friends, just kicking it at home. You're going to be comfortable styling and profiling in Philadelphia merch, whether it's for the Birds, the Phils, the Sixers, the Flyers, the Union, Philly-centric merch, and, of course, your exclusive home for Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch as well. Rep your favorite podcasts. Get your logo merch on hoodies, on T-shirts. Perfect hoodie and shorts weather going on right now, too. Get your Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. Use our link in the description or go to phiapparel.co. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND and you'll get 10% off your next merch order. Again, that's code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your next merch order when you go to phiapparel.co. Your exclusive home for Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merch. Let's talk a little fighting Phils to round things out here as opening day is this week. I am so excited. I love baseball, guys. You know I love baseball. You know I ride and die with the Phils year in and year out. They mean so much to me. I can't wait to be back at Citizens Bank Park. Just taking in the sights and the sounds, taking in just everything that Citizens Bank Park has to offer. Best stadium in baseball, hands down. It's looking a little clear of what the Phillies opening day roster is going to look like, as the Phillies today went and acquired Carlos Hernandez, they claimed him off waivers from the Kansas City Royals. As Ranger Suarez heads to the injured list and will start the year on the injured list. Taijuan Walker will be the 5th starter to start the year. He won't start, though, until the end of that first week of April because of the breaks that fall. So your opening rotation for the Phillies, I do have it here. Todd Zalecki provided it. So the rotation is more than likely going to be, where is this? Here we go. Obviously, Zach Wheeler will be starting opening day, followed by Jesus Luzardo on the 29th because there's that off day. And then the finale against the Nationals will be Aaron Nola. Your home opener on Monday will be Christopher Sanchez. Then there's the off day on April 1st. Opening night will be Zach Wheeler. And then April 3rd to close out that game, that series against Colorado, will be Taijuan Walker. So it'll be Wheeler, Luzardo, Nola, Sanchez, Wheeler, Walker. I like the way that shakes out. I know Taijuan Walker's had some blips on the radar that have not been ideal in spring training, but hey, it's the Rockies, and you're not in Colorado. I like the way that Topper's kind of splitting up, the righties and the lefties here. Wheeler, Luzardo's a lefty. Then you go Nola. Then you go Sanchez. I like that, shake up there. You still have Wheeler on regular rest, so you'll have 2 starts from Zach Wheeler to start the year, which is a lot of fun. I like the rotation. I do like the way the rotation is shaken up, for sure. And then Cal Stevenson and Kyle Tyler were optioned to AAA over the weekend. Josh Bro, Nabil Krismat, Oscar Mercado, and Christian Arroyo were reassigned to minor league camp. I hope we see Christian Arroyo at some point. He had such a good spring. He deserves to be on this roster. Tyler Phillips was DFA'd in order to have Carlos Hernandez brought onto the roster. It sounds like Matt Strahm is going to be ready to start the season, which is a good sign there. Because Michael Mercado was optioned to AAA today. And Topper said that Ranger will start the year on the injured list. Johan Rojas made the team. He is switching his number from number 18 to number 23. And Justin Crawford will start the 2025 season at AAA Lehigh Valley. He's 21 years old, guys. The future is already on the horizon with some of these Phillies players, which is very exciting. Today's lineup looked very potential opening day lineup. And I know Topper also talked about the possibility of flipping who's leading off, depending on if it's a righty or a lefty starting on the mound for the opponent. But today, against the Tigers, it was Kyle Schwarber leading off, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Alec Bohm, Max Kepler hitting 5th, JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh. Now, I do want to bring up a stat here that somebody pointed out on the old Twitter timeline about one Bryson Stott that is a huge deal, in my opinion. This comes from Phillies Central, at PhilCentral_ on Twitter. Bryson Stott has walked 13 times this spring while only striking out 6 times. And Phil Central said, I can't even explain how important that is for this lineup. It complements the aggressive swing and miss core perfectly. Stott should be the X factor, expecting big things. He's hitting .282 with 2 home runs, an 8 RBI, and an .898 OPS. Bryson Stott played a majority of last year with an injured elbow, and it clearly affected him in a multitude of ways, both fielding-wise and definitely hitting-wise. I think Bryson's bound for a big bounce-back season this year, and coupled with Bryson Stott is going to be Max Kepler, who we've talked about ad nauseum on this show, about how much of a perfect fit he is for this Phillies team. And I'm just excited to see what this roster does to silence a lot of the critics, because there's so many people before this season has even started that are already like just claiming that they're out on the team. Like they're not inspired because the Phillies are lackadaisical or not very like in your face. Like, guys, it's not football. Like we get so football pilled in this city, and rightfully so this year because the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But we try to compare the Phillies and the Eagles far too much. And it's just not the same approach that you need to have. Baseball's such a long season. If these guys were all rah-rah in spring training, I'd be nervous. Okay? This team needs to be glued and stay together for months and months and months and months from now through October. It's March. We need to go 7+ months with this team being locked in. If they had all their rah-rah and rallying going now, I'd be pretty nervous, because that means like they've got all the energy now, but what are we going to have to stretch out throughout an 162+ game season when you include the playoffs in there? I just don't understand the negativity. You know, I know last year's postseason performance was not great, but genuinely this team got better. No matter how much you want to argue it, like Max Kepler is a better left fielder than Austin Hayes will ever be. I think Jordan Romano is going to surprise a lot of people. I like the pickup of Carlos Hernandez. Jesus Luzardo is going to be a demon on the mound for this team. And on most squads, Luzardo, he's technically like the fourth starter on this team right now with Ranger out. Like, he'd be a number 2 on most teams. And I've said that multiple times this offseason. Like, you have a number 4 pitcher who would be a number 2 in most situations pitching for you in this rotation with Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, and Aaron Nola, who are all incredible and are poised to just continue to dominate this year once again. So when the Phillies go out and do the thing, and they start the season hot, I'm going to remind everyone, oh, you were ho-hum, you were ho-hum, you were ho-hum, and then they'll say, oh, it's a long season, it's a long season. Exactly. But you were out from the beginning. How you going to laugh from outside of the club? You can't even get in. Everyone needs to just take a deep breath with this team. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourselves crazy this entire season with the expectations you're trying to set for what this team can accomplish. And quite frankly, I don't know who or what or why this would scare anybody. But let me read you the New York Mets rotation. This is the New York Mets opening day rotation barring any last-minute injuries. Their opening day starter is reliever turned starter Clay Holmes, followed by Tyler McGill, and then Griffin Canning, David Peterson, and Kodai Senga. Paul Blackburn will be in their bullpen. Kodai Senga is the only pitcher of note in that rotation that is worth a damn. He's the only good pitcher. You're relying on a guy in Clay Holmes who was a reliever to be your opening day starter? Please tell me why the Mets are this terrifying team right now. Like, what about the New York Mets scares you? I understand they signed Juan Soto. I understand they have Francisco Lindor. I understand Pete Alonso is back. I understand Mark Vientos is going to be a thorn in our side for the next decade. But genuinely, what about the Mets scares you? They are a beatable team. Last year is over. Throw it away. Wipe it from your brain, just like we did the 2023 Eagles. Wipe it from your brain. This team, like the Phillies and the Braves, are going to be competing. And even with the Braves, like Ronald Acuna Jr. is coming back from another ACL injury. Ozzie Albies was injured a lot last year. Austin Riley was hurt a lot last year. Sean Murphy is not starting the season active. He's on the injured list. Matt Olson, I think he's kind of on the decline a little bit. Like, this division is winnable. And don't downplay winning the division. It truly means something. It's valuable to win your division. And then it's about performing in the postseason. But you have to battle and grind and build and grow during a regular season in order to have success throughout a postseason in baseball. And if you don't do that, you're SOL. So let's let this Phillies team continue to grow, develop, and blossom together. You have some new pieces in the fold with Luzardo, with Kepler, a healthy Bryson Stott. Rafael Marchand is going to be your backup catcher. Garrett Stubbs going to start the season in AAA because he had an option left. Marchand did not. We'll see who makes the bench outside of Rojas and Sosa. It's looking like it's going to be Cody Clemens and more than likely Buddy Kennedy. But we'll see how it all shakes out. There's options for you're going to have Rojas there. You're going to have Sosa as a lock. You're going to have Marchand on the bench. So we'll see who makes it between Cody Clemens and Buddy Kennedy there. But, this team's going to rock. And I think at some point we're going to see Justin Crawford up, this year, which is exciting. And this bullpen is nice, guys. This bullpen is nice. Jose Alvarado had an immaculate spring. Immaculate. Tanner Banks, full season here, not coming through the trade deadline. Orion Kerkering, another year of getting better. Jordan Romano, I think, is going to bounce back and have a dominant season. Joe Ross, sneaky under-the-radar signing. Jose Ruiz, Matt Strahm. And then you added Carlos Hernandez to that today. Taijuan Walker will be in the rotation to start the year. And then once Ranger's back, you bump Taijuan to the bullpen more than likely. Or who knows, maybe somebody calls and trades for him. You never know. But this season there's so much to look forward to. And on top of that, I am thrilled to announce, knock on wood, because last year I was supposed to be there as well, but I got food poisoning, and that gutted me, no pun intended, more than you would like to imagine, because I wanted to be there for the pod, I wanted to be there for you guys, I wanted to be there, as an accomplishment for myself, and everything, but I'm thrilled to announce, even after the food poisoning happened and I was unable to attend last year, I have received the invite, and I will be at the Phillies sneak peek this week. Bars. So I'll be at Citizens Bank Park this week, taking in the sights and sounds and all the new things that will be around the ballpark. I'm very honored, very thankful to have this opportunity, and to put Underground Sports Philadelphia in the zeitgeist of Phillies fans. I know we have a huge contingent of followers during the Phillies season that come through for us, but to be there for you guys first and foremost, and then for us as a company, for me to be there representing, our outlet and what we do as an independent podcast is really cool. And I'm thankful for the opportunity and very thankful to everyone at the Phillies who have given us the opportunities to, be in some rooms that traditionally, the independent outlets don't necessarily get those invites all the time. So I'm very thankful, looking forward to the opportunity this week to be there and taking it all in. It's a big week for the company. We just come off our first weekend of March Madness, got some pods to record early in the week, obviously, and then Thursday, Steve and I will be at a PGA Tour Media Day, our very first PGA Tour event. And then Philly Sneak Peek is happening this week as well. And then we'll be right back into the madness. And before you know it, it'll be Monday, and your boy will be at Citizens Bank Park with CFO Margie taking in opening day. And then we'll be there on opening night as well for another Zach Wheeler start. Myself, CFO Margie, Sarah, the OG, taking in opening night, which has been a tradition that Sarah and I have done since 2017, I believe, was our first year going. So excited to keep that tradition going. And if you're going to be at the ballpark, would love to link up and say hello and talk all about it. And maybe I'll meet you at the 47 brand store. We love 47 brand here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm rocking a 47 brand hat right now. Genuinely my go-to hat when I'm at the ballpark, and I always stop in at that 47 brand store any chance I get that I'm at Citizens Bank Park. You guys can use our link in the description, and you'll get free shipping on all orders when you use our link to shop at 47 brand. And it goes on forever. Shop for your favorite sports fan, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, hockey, NASCAR, soccer, college, minor league baseball, or you just want to look styling and profiling. Maybe you want to get ready for the golf course, golf season coming up. Look your best with our friends at 47 brand. Use our link in the description and get free shipping on all orders when you shop with our friends at 47 brand. Looking forward to a loaded week upcoming. Thank you guys for all your support during March Madness opening weekend. It's been a ton of fun. Looking forward to even more. We're working to get some interviews going throughout the week as well, so stay tuned for those. Make sure you use our link in the description. And when you go to checkout, use code UNDERGROUND10, and you will get 10% off your next order from our friends at FOCO. FOCO powering all of Underground Madness 2025. So definitely tap in with them. Use our link in the description, code UNDERGROUND, 10% off your next order from our friends at FOCO. Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at UndergroundPHI. Across the board. We're on every social platform. Subscribe to the pod. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. We're close to a milestone on Spotify as well, and we're close to a milestone on Apple. So let's keep the subscribers rolling on audio. Keep subscribing. Leave us a 5-star review. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. We'll have some more live streams for Underground Madness coming up later in the week as well, so definitely stay tuned for those. And like I said, Steve and I should be live on Tuesday for the TGL Championship. The final game or games, depending on how the first one goes. Looking forward to that and taking in the TGL. But subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And guys, if you are a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you are considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 727 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Thank you guys for tuning in all weekend long to the madness. Can't wait for more throughout the week and in this upcoming weekend. Plus a whole lot of fun content, very first-time content from us, from the PGA Tour to the Phillies and more, that you don't want to miss out on. Excited to bring that to you guys. So definitely stay tuned, stay locked and loaded to us on the socials. And it'll be Harrison and myself talking to you. We have a lot planned to get you ready for Phillies opening day. So stay tuned for that on Thursday's episode. You won't want to miss that. But until then, I'm your boy KB. I'm going to get the heck up out of here, catch up on some sleep, go work the day job, and be ready to rock and roll for you guys all week. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.